the power rankings. Look, disappointing few weeks to be sure. But my power rankings reflect that the new guys are pretty darn good at this whole sport of football. As you are not surprised by, Texas and Oklahoma are right there at the very top. They deserve to be at this point. Those two teams have done what they needed to do, which has been a struggle for a lot of the irate eight, a struggle for a lot of the teams that were supposed to be so good in this league. Now, not shockingly, there are some newbies also near the top of this list, namely at 3 after a road win against Arkansas, the BYU Cougars. And a lot of BYU fans are going, oh, no, we don't want to be so high up on the list. BYU fans not wanting to be high. Shocker. The Cougars being at 3 is because you just went on the road and won an SEC game and own the second best win in the Big 12. That's the second best win of anybody else in the Big 12, and it's BYU's. Strength of schedule standpoint, BYU, it's right there. They just went on the road, beat an SEC team. BYU deserves to be at 3. At 4, the University of Central Florida Knights. Without John Rice Plumlee, with Timmy McClain at quarterback, UCF still went and got it done. Gus Malzahn, scary coach, man. I mean, not like a scary guy, but scary for the rest of this league because of how well he can coach. 48-14 win against Villanova, and I know what you're thinking. It was Villanova. Yeah, well, the rest of you have been crapping the bed against teams like Villanova. UCF, good on you for taking care of business. You're at number 4 in my power rankings. At 5, not dropping that much, they lost on the road to an SEC team, something that BYU didn't do, by the way. Kansas State at 5. The Wildcats, Will Howard, didn't look as good as I needed him to against Missouri. Felt like Kansas State had that game in hand, gave it away in the end. Stinnett has that drop. There are a few drops, rusty-looking squad. Still top 5. The road lost the SEC. And one of the reasons they're top 5 is because the rest of the league, I don't know if I can trust yet. Kansas at 6. The best offense in the Big 12. Defense has been much improved. Big 12-wise, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do yet. I still need to see Kansas. I need to see Kansas win some Big 12 games before I can move them into the top 5 in this conference. 7 TCU, and this honestly might be a little bit low because this top 7, they might be a little bit low. Their loss to Colorado looks pretty darn good right now. TCU's 1 loss, Colorado, looks great. They're at my 7. It's Texas 1, OU 2, BYU 3, UCF 4, 5 Kansas State, Kansas and TCU rounded out at 6 and 7. Now the bottom 7. Huge gap. Wide chasm between 7 and 8 right now. Not just record-wise, but also just the preseason predictions with the way these teams have played. West Virginia at 8, shockingly. They were 14th in this list earlier on. They have been spectacular compared to expectations of where they were. C.J. Donaldson, to me, and the stats won't back it up. I think he's in rushing yards, he's like 5 or 6. But to me, he's the best, or at least top 3 running back in the Big 12. I like C.J. Donaldson a lot. At 9, behind West Virginia, again, shocking, Texas Tech. Baron Morton, ? BM. Tyler Shuck, ? Figure it out. Whoever gives you a best chance to win, play them. At 10, a team that last week was much higher than this, and then they lost to Miami of Ohio. Cincinnati is the number 10 team in the Big 12 power rankings behind West Virginia and Texas Tech. At 11, and by the way, these last 4, particularly bad. We could mix these around in any order that you'd like here of bad. They are all in the not good category. Number 11, Oklahoma State. 33-7. And then Mike Gundy says in the postgame press conference, yeah. Gets asked, how did the quarterbacks grade? And Gundy says, oh, they all graded pretty good. What? And he's going to stick with his 3-quarterback system, which has worked so well early this year. Idiotic. And it's like he, at this point, is trying to play a joke so he can get fired at the end of the year. 12, Iowa State. Matt Campbell now on the hot seat. Yelled at that fan who yelled at him. Granted, the fan should not have yelled at him, but you can't yell back. Number 12 is Iowa State, just behind Oklahoma State after their also embarrassing loss on the road to Ohio. Honestly, Oklahoma State could be behind Iowa State here. Again, these last 4 can all kind of be mixed and matched however you'd like. Number 13, sparing themselves from being 14 where they were a couple of weeks ago, the Baylor Bears. First 2 weeks of the season, pretty bad. Week 1, you lose to Texas State. Week 2, you give away a game you are winning against Utah. Baylor at 13 this week. They are 1-2. 1-2. And their only wins against Long Island because this past week they won 30-7 slugfest. Terrible slugfest against an awful Long Island team that you should beat 55-7, 55-10. Baylor said, hold my non-alcoholic beer. I'm only going to win 30-7. I'm going to try to make it look bad. I'm going to try to look not good against Long Island. Not recommended. Then number 14, the only team on this list to lose to the Rice Owls. And I get it. Some of you are saying, oh, this isn't your grandma's Rice Owls. This Rice Owls team is good. Listen to us. It's rice, man. It's flipping rice. It is a food. You can't lose to Rice and not expect to be high and not expect to be at 14. That's where you're going to be. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Baylor, or Houston, mix and match them. But Houston at 14, I feel confident in, especially after they got drubbed by TCU. They're going to struggle to win more than 3 or 4 games, it seems, which stinks. Nice program. Talked to their athletic director a couple weeks ago. Cool guy. Locked on Big 12's power rankings. Texas reluctantly at 1. Oklahoma at 2. Again, nightmare material. This is the worst. BYU at 3. They have the second biggest win of anybody else in the conference. UCF at 4. Love John Rice Plumlee. Want him to get healthy, but Timmy McClain, not a bad replacement. Kansas State at 5. Road loss against the SEC. I'll give you a pass for this one, I guess. Kansas at 6. Plenty of room to move up there. Need to see it in Big 12 play. TCU at 7. Could go higher, actually, because Colorado, that loss is good now. West Virginia at 8. Surprised. Shockingly surprised by you. Thank you. Texas Tech at 9. If I figure out the quarterback stuff. Cincinnati at 10. Wow. Miami of Ohio? Really? Oklahoma State at 11. Figure out the quarterback situation. Fire your coach. Iowa State at 12. Figure out the gambling situation. Fire your coach. Baylor at 13. Go do the NIL thing and get the transfer portal. Maybe fire your coach. Houston at 14. I have no help for you unless you fire your coach. Coming up next, Deion Sanders, Colorado. He's the best thing to happen to college football in a long time. This, Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I love puppies and old people, both of them together, and FanDuel. Those are the 3 things that I love. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. It's $200 in bonus bets. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action than now. The app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, overs, unders, and more. Visit FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com/lockedon, and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel.com/lockedon. They're the official sports betting partner of the NFL. Visit FanDuel.com. Money lines, props, etc. around the NFL right now.